and welcome to what is now the second of our Storman Cloud webinars. The subject of this one being tips and tricks in Storman Cloud. My name's Andy Shaw. I'm the BDM with Storman, and I'll just be your host for this session. So firstly, look, I'd like to thank everyone that's attending. It looks like we've got quite a mix of non-cloud users through to some intermediate, and then I'd say there are quite a few advanced users on here too. So look, we'll do our very best and try to ensure that there's something for everyone throughout the sessions. So I'll just cover off some housekeeping first. So this session has been recorded and will be made available afterwards should anyone want to revisit any of the sections. There will also be an opportunity for everyone to provide some feedback via a form that we'll send out to everyone after the webinar. Now, as I said, this is only our second Storman Cloud webinar, so I would encourage anyone who does have any feedback on how we may improve the process, the flow, any content, please do submit it, and yeah, all feedback's welcome. So what I'll do, I'll introduce the panel today. So there's myself on the left. And first off, we have Musa Ali at the top. Musa works in our support team in our Auckland office. Then we have Nairi Tompkins. She also works in our Auckland office, and Nairi is our business analyst. And then last but not least, at the bottom, we've got Jono Wilden. Most of you will probably know Jono. He's our product owner and works out of our Brisbane office alongside myself. So now we'll just look at the agenda. Just move on to the next slide. So these are the topics that we've decided to cover off today. So the agenda being, first off, Musa will kick off with user roles and permissions. Musa will then move on to cover off the password reset function. And then he'll hand over the reins to Nairi. Nairi will go through our invoice designer feature and then also cover off unit size categories and attributes. And then finally, Nairi will hand over the reins to Jono, who will go through our multi-layered facility map, insurance at agreement and unit level, and also our knowledge base, how to find the answers to any questions you've got, and raise tickets with our support team as well. And then finally, at the end, time permitting, we'll conclude on a quick Q&A session. Now, if we could just mute all the audios during the webinar, if you do have any questions as we go through each section, if you could just drop them on the chat channel and allocate them to myself, what I'll do, I'll go through all the questions you have during the webinar, collate them together, and then depending on how much time we have at the end, we'll cover off as many as we can. If we do happen to run out of time though, we will reply to everyone's questions straight afterwards directly. So that's it from now. Without further ado, I will pass you over to Musa, and he will kick us off with user roles and permissions. Over to you, Musa.
All right, thanks, Andy. I'm Musa. I'm your support specialist at Storman. So today I'll be going through two simple but important functions, which are user roles and permissions, and how to reset your password. So I'll just take over and share my screen. Hopefully you all can see this. So when you first log into Storman, you'll be getting this main dashboard here. And in order to head over to your user roles and permissions, you'll just need to look at the left-hand sidebar. And if you look under maintenance, should be system settings, and then down here, user roles and pins. Once we click on that, all right, so this is the user roles, pins, and dashboard. So in order to add a user, you'll see here where it has this little icon here which says add user. So we're gonna click on that. Okay, so permissions can be used to control a user's access level and basically who does what in Storman. And in order to do that, first we'll need to create the user, the new staff member. So first we'll start with their full name. So we'll just go with Ali. And the username, right? So for the full name, the reason why we would want to use a full name is because you might have a staff members that have the same name. And it's also used for your staff performance reports as well. So it uses the full name. And here for the username, it would normally pick up the first name, but obviously if it's used, you'll get this alert here saying username already used. So I'll just put another I there. So email. Email address is basically what's associated with the user. It's also what's used if they ever forget their password, which is what I'm going to be going into further detail later on. So we'll just do my Storman support email. And then roles, I'll go in further detail as well, but at the moment, because it's a new staff member, I would want to give them just a user role. And in here, you'll need to put in the password. Just a quick tip, it will need to be at least 8 characters, or else you're gonna get an alert here saying it needs to be at least 8 characters. So let's just do that again. And quick pins is something that you would use. It allows users to switch between each other without actually logging on and off. Let's say if you had, if one of your staff members was already logged on and one of your other staff members wanted to log on as well, but they didn't want to log the person off. What they need to do is just put in their PIN number. So once they add the quick PIN, they can easily just switch between theirs and the other staff members without actually logging them on and off. And facility access, this is used, so if you tick all, it will allow them to access all the facilities under here. And if you want them to only be allowed to access few or specific ones, you can tick and untick them. So let's just add it and we'll just give them all access. So it just takes you over to the user profile, which we've already discussed just now. So we'll just go back to users. All right. So yeah, once you've done and saved it, you can search them up here if you like, and it should come up here. What you'll see is their username, their full name, their email, the status. So status means if they're active or not. So if they're actually allowed to use your Storman Cloud or not, and what role they're in. You can easily edit here with the this icon here, of the edit icon, and you can also deactivate if you need to, if they're no longer working in your facility. So I'll move on to roles at the moment. So let's say now we've created the user and we want to give them a role. So we're just going to click on the roles icon here. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the role names and we have about 3 at the moment. So we have a users, we have admins, and we have manager as well. So as I said, I've given my staff member the user role, which is basically giving them like minimum access. Because a role in cloud is defined in what areas of the software the user can access. For example, as I was saying, the user, they might only have permissions to access like day-to-day tasks, such as leads, sales inquiries, move-ins and move-outs, where admins will have like all access to everything in cloud. And they'll be obviously able to access like your financial reporting and everything like that. So yeah, so when you do set up a member of staff, just have to make sure you assign them to the appropriate role. So let's say we're creating this user role right now. Since I've already created, we're just gonna click. If you want to add one, you're just gonna click on add a role. And all you need to do is you need to make sure you name the role to what it needs to be. So we'll just do owner. We'll do owner. And then this is already tagged as active. And then in here is the role permissions, which is basically this list of the specific actions the user can perform. So at the moment we're looking at the transactions. You'll see here we can easily select all, which allows them access to everything in this particular role permission, or we can just specify which ones we want them to have access to. So because it's the owner, we would want them to have access to everything. So you would go through each role permissions and just give them select all in this area. But if it was like the user, if we go back to the user and we want to edit what our staff members who are in the user role can do, we can easily just go on edit role, and then we can untick select all and specify what we want them to have. So we want them to add, we don't want them to delete charge. We want them to add a credit, but not edit or delete it, add a payment, and want them to delete, you might need them to add the refund, and you can just update rule, and it just updates it, reloads you back to that page. And then there you go, it just saves that for you. So once you can easily, as I was saying, you can easily deactivate a user. So whenever you have a staff member do leave or anything like that, or if they are going for a holiday and you want to just deactivate them maybe for 2 weeks or something like that, you can easily do that. So you can just search the person's name. And if you look at the icon here, just gonna click deactivate user. It's gonna say, do you want to say yes? We'll say yes. And then once that loads, in order to find any users that we've made them inactive now, all we have to do is just change the status to inactive, and it's here. And if you do need to reactivate them, you can easily just press this little arrow here. So that's pretty much it for user roles and pins. I'll move on to how to reset your password. So we're gonna use the same one again. I deactivated it. Let's use this one here. So we use this one here. So let's say this user forgot their password, and when they've log out, so when they've forgotten their password and they're trying to log in and they forgot what's their password, all they need to do is ensure that when you get to this tab and they can't get into the password, all they need to do is click on forget your password and forgot your password and locked out. So you're just gonna click on the icon. And then all you need to do here is make sure the facility code is in here. So we're just gonna retype this, it's a CTY. And then once that's done, you just need to put in your username. So username is in your user login. So just gonna do Ali. And then once I hit the request button, all that I do is it will start the password reset process. And what you'll get here is that we have emailed your password reset link. Please check your email inbox registered with Storman. Just important note, you would have to reset your password within an hour, otherwise it will cease to work. And also, of course, you would need to have your email address linked to that user account. I'll just log in. So you can have all your staff members check to make sure that they do have their username, their email linked to the user. All you need to do is click on the icon here at the top right hand corner. You need to click on my profile, and that takes you back in here. And all you need to do is just ensure there's an email address in here, and then you'll be good to go. And as I showed you earlier, you can also, as the admin and owner, you can also check all your staff's email addresses as well, just by going on user roles and pins. And you can see here if they have emails addresses. If not, it would have been blank, and you can easily just edit it for them, which you can just use your default email address. And I think that's it from me. So I'll hand it over to Nari.
Thank you, Musa. Hi everyone, it's Nari here. I'm the Technical Business Analyst at Storman, and today I'll be taking you through the new invoice designer in Storman Cloud. And following on from that, I will take you through unit size categories and unit attributes. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, so hope everyone can see my screen. You'll find the new invoice designer under System Settings Facility. And on the invoice design tab here. And you'll see on the right-hand side, we've got a preview of what your invoice currently looks like. And on the left-hand side, we've divided the invoice up into different sections that you can customize. So at the moment, we've got a left-aligned logo, You might want it to be a centered logo. If you're still printing your invoices, you can choose to, on letterhead, company letterhead, you can choose to have no logo at the top, and that makes room for that. We'll make that a right-aligned logo. Then we've got the invoice header section, which is where the address details are and the agreement details, invoice number, and you can just change. There's a couple of options there. If you're not sure what the changes are, because sometimes it's not that obvious, on the right hand side here there's a bit of a description of what that is. So in this case it's just put the invoice number up the top and bolded it. Then the invoice body, this is probably the look that if you're coming from Storman 1 that's more familiar to you. And then there's a couple of options here that might be more what you're wanting to show. This one doesn't show the paid to date. Some people don't want that to be shown on the invoice. So that gives you that option there. And there's another slightly different look here that shows you your current balance and the date you're paid up to, customers paid up to. So at the invoice level, you can choose to send, so say you have a customer that has 3 agreements and you want them to have just one invoice for all 3. So you can choose to send your invoices by customer only by selecting that option. Or if you want them to get one invoice for each agreement, you can choose that option. Coming down to the footer. Okay, we have, you can see the bank transfer and online credit card and direct debit details if you have that set up at your facility. We can just have no footer. And you can edit the bank account details here. So the name of your bank account, if that changes, if you're merging facilities or whatever, you can change that directly in here. Okay, there's an option here to subtract 1 day from the rental period. So when that's off, you will see up here, it just shows what the rental period is for. So in this case, it's the 24th of August to the 24th of September. So that just shows bill date to bill date. If you want to show the period that the rental is actually for, you can have this ticked on and it will show from the 24th of August to the 23rd of September. It doesn't change the calculation here. The amount's still going to be the same. It's just what you're showing in here. You can put customized message to your customers here. Opening hours, payment terms, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to put. You can go in here and you type that in here. If you are printing your invoices, you might want to change this indented address block just to make sure it fits in the envelope window. So that will shift things along by a couple of centimeters. And you can print, actually, you can print this preview to paper just to see how it looks before you go and play with real customers. So the most important thing on this page is probably the save button. You can think that you've made all these changes and it's showing in here, but just save it at the end. So that's all there is to show for the invoice designer. It's quite simple. And now we'll come over to unit size categories. So this is just a useful way of describing a type of unit. So we'll come down to system settings, lookup values. And in here are all kinds of wonderful things. Down here is your unit type size categories. So you see we've just kept it quite simple. We've got small, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, car and truck. And just depending what kind of units you might have, it's just easier than saying it's a 2 by 3. You can categorize it this way. I'm not going to add any new ones, but I'll just show you where you can assign them to your unit types. So you would just come over to facility unit types, and it's just in here. You can say what unit types have what size and category. And Jono will show you later how that can work for the facility map as well. So the other thing we have is unit attributes, which is new in Storman Cloud. And these are things, attributes that are specific to specific units. So they won't apply to a whole unit type necessarily, but they might apply to unit 200, unit 300. And they can be both negative and positive attributes. So positive attribute might be air conditioned. You have a unit that's air conditioned, or you might have a low ceiling, or a unit with a pole in the middle, or it might have, I'm going to create a new attribute and I'm going to call it drive up. I'm just going to call it this thing. Code is and you can give these attributes a weighting. So in this case, a drive up unit would be a positive thing. So I'm going to give it a weighting of 10. You might have you can have a negative weighting. So you could have, if it has a pole in the middle, it could have a negative weighting of 10. And this is just determines how these are displayed, especially if you have this integrated with your website. So coming down to system settings, units. And you can see here's a list of all your units, and along here are the attributes that you have defined. Up here you can see your size categories. You can say, I want to have a look at all my 3-bedroom units. You might want to have a look at, swing door. We'll come back and we'll add our drive to this one that doesn't have any attributes. I'm going to say that's a drive up one. You can see drive up is here. I'm just going to tick that, and it's as easy as that. So you can see now this unit has a drive up attribute. And this comes in handy when you're quoting. So I'm going to go over to sales. And I'm going to open up this test quote. I'm going to add a quote to this unit, to this lead. I want a 3-bedroom unit with drive up. You can have multiple, you can choose multiple attributes. In this case, I'm just going to choose that one and this unit type. So I'll save that. And you can see now you've quoted for a size category of a 3-bedroom and an attribute of drive up. If you have a lot of units and a lot of attributes that you want to upload, you can do that from this menu here. Just down the bottom, there's an import menu. So just come down here and go to unit attributes and download your list of units. And you can see here you've got a list of your units, all the attributes that you have set up, and it will say whether this is turned on. So you can see these ones have a roller door. Well, you might know that actually you've got quite a few with roller doors, so you want to add some more in, and you can yeah, it's just a fast way if you have multiple units that you want to add attributes to. You can save that, and we won't do this, but you can upload the Excel file. It will map it automatically, and you can import your updated unit attributes here. So it's just a quick way of doing that. I'll pass you over to Jono now, who will show you how that feeds into the facility map.
Cool, thanks, Mary. Let me just share my screen. All right, cool. So I was going to go into the facility map, but I think I will show everyone insurance first, and then we'll come back and wake everyone up at the end with the colorful facility map. So firstly, when it comes to insurance in Storman, it all depends on your insurance provider or your insurance broker and what, how they require you to manage your insurance. So either you may insure each unit individually against a customer, or you may have the insurance at the agreement level where a customer may have multiple units, but rather than insuring each individual unit, you'll insure the entire agreement. So I'm hoping you can all see my screen here. I've just logged into Storman Cloud. The first thing we want to do is make sure all of our insurance rates are set up, which we can do under the system settings option, insurance rates. And here are some I prepared earlier. These are all ranged insurance. As you can see, I have a start value here of 5,001 and an end value of 10,000 with a monthly premium of $20. So if someone was to come to me and need insurance for $6,000 coverage, I'd be charging them $20 a month. If they needed $8,000 insurance, I'd be charging them $20 a month. Or if they were to come down and take, say, 35,000, I'd be charging them $45 a month. So once you've got your insurance rate set up, we need to tell Storman which level of insurance we're going to be offering. So back to the facility settings. Under facility and under operations. Under this insurance heading, we have the insurance type. So like I said, you may insure each of your units individually, you may insure the entire agreement, or you may, for some reason, insure both. At my facility, I'm offering both, just so I can show everyone the different ways of adding insurance. So back to my operations dashboard. I'm going to open up a customer here. We'll open up Phil. And as you can see at the top here, Phil's got 2 units with us. He's got C966 and C965. So under the regular charges tab, which displays all of his billing information, the billing plan he's on, how much he's paying per month, we can see the list of units that he has with us. And you can see that both of these are not yet insured. So what I'm going to do is add insurance for both of those, and he wants $2,000 insurance for each of his units. So clicking on the edit button, I type in under this yellow section, insurance coverage, $2,000. And I add in my insurance policy number. And as you can see, it's picked up the premium bracket 0 to 2,500, which is going to charge a $10 monthly premium. And also this warning message here is just letting me know that because we've already billed Phil ahead, Storman's going to create a pro rata transaction, which is the difference of this monthly premium from now until his next bill date, just to keep all of his billing in line. So I'll save that one. And Storman's now showing that this unit is insured for $2,000. And I'll do the other unit as well. But actually, he's going to be taking 14,000 with us instead. And Storman's put him up to the higher bracket of $25 a month. And again, it's going to create a pro rata transaction up to his next billing date. So now we've got both of our units insured. And if we scroll a little bit further down, we've got the recurring charges. So Storman automatically creates the recurring charge for each of the monthly premiums and the overnight processing, or if you to use the bill next charges button to add on the next rental fees for the next month, Storman will add on these insurance charges. Now that was the unit level insurance. So we've insured each unit for a different amount. If I go back to the operations dashboard, And I'll open up a different customer this time. Let's have a look at, let's take George. Now this time we're going to insure his entire agreement, regardless of the units that he has. Under the Agreement tab, on the right-hand side, we have this Agreement Insurance section here. So again, policy number, and let's say he's taking 40,000 with us, which is $50 a month. Now, even though we're still adding the insurance against the agreement level, and on this screen, it's still going to create the regular charge here of $50 a month, but this time there's no mention of the unit because the insurance is against his entire agreement. So if he was to add on 2 or 3 more units, remove a few, he's still insured for all of them at the agreement level, at his customer level. Now, if I was to go back to my system settings and change the option, I'll just show you that option again. If I was to change this to be unit only, when I open up George's account, this section over here for agreement insurance would be completely hidden, so you wouldn't actually be able to enter it. And likewise with, if I was to change that to be agreement insurance only, this section would be shown. And when you edit a unit, the options to enter insurance against a unit are disabled and hidden, so you can't use them. Another great thing regarding insurance we have in Storman Cloud, this is a new Storman Cloud only report. We didn't have this in Storman 1. It's the insurance coverage report. So this is quite a nice high-level insurance report, which will tell you basically all of your agreements or units that have insurance with you and their insured value. So a total, regardless of whether they've been billed or not. In Storman 1, we had a report that would show you who had been billed for insurance for the month, but it didn't actually give you a point in time, how much insurance do I have at my facility, for you to take that back to your insurance company. So that can be found under the reporting insurance menu. And as you can see here, our facility right now, we've sold a total of $334,000 worth of insurance. Now, just heading over to the facility map. So over here on the left-hand side, if you've got permission, you'll be able to click on our facility map, which we've had for quite a little while in Storman Cloud, but we've just recently released the ability to have different locations. So this is my facility here. As you can see, not all of my units have been drawn, and I still have a couple of sections under construction. Over here, starting from the left-hand side, we have our locations. So this is my main outside or car park facility, but I also have a building A, which is not shown on this map. So if I switch to building A, this is going to show me the diagram or the image that I've uploaded for building A and all of my units that are in building A. Using the key here, we've got green, which is rented, blue, which is vacant, red, which are locked. So these are all our customers that are overdue. And clicking on a unit, I can see a lot of information about it, the location of the unit, the type category, the size category, which Nari just took us through, any attributes that are linked to this unit, the rack rate of this unit, how long this customer has been with us. So this customer is McDonald's, they're overdue, they haven't paid, and they have a balance owing of 420 and they're 16 days late. And from here I can click go to agreement, which will take me straight to their account. I'll come back to, so you can have as many, I can just see a question come through on the chat. Sorry, Andy, I should have left this to the end, but there's no limit to how many locations you can have. So if you have 17 buildings at your facility, you can upload 17 images and you can draw a map, and this list will just get bigger and bigger. Heading back to the main map of my facility because it's nice and colorful. Over to the next drop down, you can filter on whether units are available or not available. So as you can see, all of my units here are all lit up, nice and colorful. If I were to want to see only units that are available, all the units that are rented, that are company, that are repair, that are locked, they'll all be grayed out. and only my available units, which are my vacants and my to cleans, are shown or highlighted. And then if I was to switch to unavailable, that will hide all my units that are vacant and to clean and show me all the units that are purple reserved, grey company, green for rented. Don't have any units that are in repair, which is good, and the red ones are all locked out. I switch back to all. Moving over to size category, I can do the same filtering, but based on the size category. So these are, I only have a few 1-bedroom units. These are my 2 bedrooms. These are my 3 bedrooms. These are my lockers down here, and so on, and my 2 car spaces. And back to all. Then I can also filter on specific unit types. So if I wanted to look at all my 5 square meter units, that would be these ones. Obviously this map isn't 100% to scale. My 18 square meters are these ones here. My car spaces are these ones. My facility has gun lockers, which are these ones down here. And we also have document lockers, which are these ones. And then moving over to the unit attributes, which Nari has shown us here, I can also filter on them now. So I can tick, I want to see only the units that have roller doors, which are these ones. Or I want to see the units that only have drive up enabled, which are these ones. Or I want to see the units that are drive up and roller door, just these ones. And I also, for my document and gun storage, I have units that are that have individual keypads. So if I click the keypad attribute, that will highlight these ones down here. So this facility map, it's perfect to allow, if you have a call center environment or you have staff working away from the office, it's a great way to show what you have available, show where it is, especially when people are talking on the phone to potential customers. But the other great thing is, if I was to click on this car unit, you can also upload images of each of your units as well. So this is one of my car spaces here. And I think I have a unit here in 216. I've got a photo of this one. And this is a vacant unit, so I can go straight to creating a quote for a lead. I can reserve this unit straight away, or I can create a new agreement and move a new customer into this unit straight away. And to upload a new image against a unit, nice and easy, just click on the unit and click on this button here, which will load to find your unit image. So that is our multi-location facility map. And I'll just see if the filtering works on my building A. I don't think these are, oh yep, these two, I got 2 bedrooms in building A. I got a lot of single garages in building A as well. And finally, just a quick one after the map is our new Storman Cloud knowledge base. So that is here. We'll send the link out to everyone as part of this recording, but it is storman-help.freshdesk.com. When you log in, you have these buttons here. We've completely redone this. This has hundreds of articles on how to use Storman Cloud, how to set up Storman Cloud. We've got training videos down here and an FAQ. We've got our getting started section, which basically walks you through everything you need to know about how to use Storman Cloud. So an introduction to Storman Cloud, what the late cycle is, the Storman life cycle of a customer. We've got articles on managing sales and reservations, moving customers in, moving customers out, how to do your banking. All with a bunch of great screenshots and examples. If you're coming from Storman 1, we have a great section here on things that you need to know, things that are different between Storman 1 and Storman Cloud, like the new invoicing system, photos and documents, and how to upload scanned images and scanned contracts, the difference between the Storman Cloud banking and the Storman 1 banking. And this is always also where we post, every time we do an update to Storman Cloud, we will put our release notes in this what's new section here, which is also displayed to you when you log in. So this lists all the things we've done and all the changes we've made, as well as any changes to online move-ins and reservations if you're using those products. And also we have a good section on the online move-ins and reservations, which has some articles that we covered off in our last webinar with our contactless move-ins and how that all works and how to get people signing up at your facility with an iPad or signing up from home with an email. From here, you can also submit a new ticket down the bottom left, submit a ticket. And if you're logged in, you can also view your tickets and view the status of them. You can top up your SMS, and you can also pay your account with us. And we have a lot of articles on pretty much every single report that's in Storman Cloud, telling you what the report is, why you'd want to use it. Any new reports or any report changes we make, we update this knowledge base as we go. Andy, do we have any questions?
Yeah, thanks, Jono, for that. Thank you, Nairi and Musa as well. So this was we're doing really good for time. This was the sort of Q&A section. We haven't been inundated with questions, I'll be honest. We've had a couple, so I'll just cover those off now. If there are any questions that do crop up afterwards, then just fire them over to us on an email, and then we can sort of reply to them generally when we do a follow-up. But the questions we have had, we did get a couple through at the beginning. These are kind of geared towards you, Musa. So, quick question: what happens when I deactivate a user? Can I get them back? Can I reactivate them?
Yep, definitely can. I'll just give me a sec. I'll take over again. So hopefully you guys can see my screen again. So if you ever want to find a user that you deactivated, could have been accidental or anything like that, all you need to do is just head back to where we were earlier, which is under maintenance, system settings, user roles and pins. Just going to click on that. And just ensure you're on the users tab. And all you need to do is just change the status from active to inactive. Once that's done, you can just find the user that you want to reactivate. And we'll just reactivate Ali. And we'll just click on this little icon here, which is the arrow, and it'll just tell you sure you want to reactivate this user. All we need to do is click yes. And it should put them back in. And it takes you back to the active status. And now if we search for Ali, there you go, it's back in here. So yeah, you can easily, if you ever need to reactivate a user, staff member, you can easily just bring them back in. So you wouldn't have to create a whole new user. You can just reactivate an old one if you like. Hopefully that answers that question.
That's great. Just one more for you, Musa. You're probably the choice, mate. Just on passwords, they've asked, what if you can't see the password reset link on your email?
Okay. So more times on not, what will happen is that your password reset link email will be sent to your actual junk mail or spam. All you need to do is just ensure that you move it over to your main Gmail, and then all you have to do after that is from then on, any emails that you get that is like password link related, it will just come back to your Gmail. It wouldn't be in your spam or anything like that. But yeah, most of the time, first thing you should always do is, if you can't see it in your main dashboard for your Gmail, all you need to do is just go to the junk mail and just ensure that you move it out of there for future purposes.
Perfect.
If you find it doesn't arrive in your junk mail, we can reset it. Our support team can reset the password for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just get in contact with us.
Just while you're on, Jono, as well, I do have a quick question that's come through for the map.
Yep.
So they're asking, what if they haven't actually got an image or a site plan that they can upload? Can they draw the map, or what are the options?
Yeah, so ideally you want to use it can be hard because if you have the proper blueprints to your facility, they can be quite busy and quite hard to use. And also, for anyone asking, the Storman 1 map cannot be converted over to Storman Cloud. This is a brand new one, so it has to be drawn from scratch. So if you don't have a diagram or an image of your facility, do get in contact with us, because we can help out there to get the technical background drawing done. we can point you in the direction of how to get that drawn up, so then you can upload it into Cloud.
Great stuff. I think that's the only questions I can see that's come through. I'll review the questions afterwards as well. If there's anything we've missed off, we will sort of reply directly. So I think that's it. Well, I think we'll close it there. Thank you again to everyone that's attended. Please keep an eye out for the details of the next webinar. Now, this is just some topics that we may cover next time. So we'll probably go through the life cycle of a storer. So anything from sales inquiry, lead to quotes, move-ins, agreements, invoice payments, move-outs, etc., etc. But look, however, if there's any topics that you'd like us to include, then please do provide those along with any feedback after. As I sort of said at the beginning, this is the second of these webinars. So all feedback is welcome with regards to improving the process and the flow, and also the content. So once again, thanks everyone, and have a great day, and we'll see you next time.